I don't have a specific reference photo that I used for this painting, but I thought that maybe sharing some of the other hollyhock pieces that I've done would help out with that. That's basically what I did. I brought up some of my old paintings, not necessarily these, but some of these definitely, and I used my imagination. I started this painting with some walnut oil, and I kept my walnut oil in a little baby food jar for a while there. Now I have it in a larger silver container, but that's what I was carrying with me on location. So I put some walnut oil out there on the palette to get started, and then just started with some manganese blue, thinking that I would start with an overall wash of magnesium blue and then wipe it down, and then realizing that I really wanted overall a light blue sky, I decided just to change that approach and add white into it. I often avoid white in the beginning just because I don't want it to mix in with my middle values and especially my darker value colors and cause problems with trying to get my darks dark enough. But I knew that there was quite a bit of separation between the sky and the lower portion where most of my darker shadow pattern was going to be placed. So I decided just to go right for it and start putting white into that blue and get a lot thicker paint up there in the sky so that when I go to lay in the hollyhocks, I've got some paint to work with. Starting off with just those washes of blue in the sky makes it much more clean and easy for me to work with. So that's why I decided not to just do a wash all the way across my painting. But there's nothing wrong with starting out with a wash like that. Sometimes that can make our work easier. It can make things move more quickly and facilitate the harmony within the painting much better than if I just start with a wash here and there of different colors, like the blues, and then the more reds and orange down in the bottom. I'm not as concerned about getting the exact value and color of each of those shapes, whether it's the hollyhocks or the leaves right now. Overall, I'm trying to get some basic movement through the painting with those hollyhocks and leaves. I want to get the placement of them in such a way that it's interesting and moves the viewer through the plants. And I'm also trying to avoid repetition or symmetry in the placement of those objects. I'm not doing the same thing to every leaf that I see. I'm very particular about finding a leaf that I want to have a portion of it coming forward. It's really about breaking up spaces again. So I look for particular leaves that will be nicer if I do bring them forward. If I pop out, if I add a bright, warm highlight in there, then it will break up that space nicely and push some other areas farther away that I want pushed farther away. That's a good spot to point out. That area that I'm working in right now, that large, wider piece of grass that's there, that's brighter, it was pointing the viewer right out of the painting. So I came back in and realized I needed to add in some little pieces of grass, some bright pieces of grass to overlap that would not be as big as that original blade of grass, but that would be pronounced enough that they can lead the viewer up and into the hollyhock plants, not out of the painting. And that, my friends, is the end of this painting. I hope you had a great time going through and learning from it and watching the whole experience. I know I certainly did. And I hope that you can get out and paint your own hollyhocks. Paint your own masterpiece and just have a lot of fun with it. Enjoy the whole experience of this opportunity we have as artists.